What's this little wriggly thing here?
Music isn't always about sound. Sometimes not playing a note is just as important. Hello everyone! Welcome back to Theory Tuesday series. I'm Elouise. In today's lesson, we're going to learn when not to play a note on the piano. By the way, if you want to get the printable copy of this handout, you can visit my Patreon page. The link is just in the description box below. And by joining as a member, you will be able to have access to the step-by-step tutorials on how to play this amazingly recognizable and famous song, Amazing Grace, on the piano, both the melody and the accompaniment. Without further ado, let's go straight and dive in. Theory Tuesday series, lesson number 5, rest duration. We call these symbols rest. When we see a rest, we do not make any sound. So this is silent. But when we see the note, that's when we make a sound. This is 4 beats. So here is 4 beats rest, 2 beats, 2 beats rest, 1 beat, 1 beat rest, half a beat rest, 1/4 of a beat, 1/4 of a beat rest. The types of rest, this one is called a semi-brief rest. Semi-brief rest is a small rectangle that hangs off the second line from the top of the staff. This is the second line from the top. You can also call this the 4th line from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has a value of 4 beats. This one is a minim rest. The minim rest is very similar to the semi-brief rest, but it sits on the middle line of the staff. Here's the middle line. Minim rest sits on this middle line of the staff. It has a value of 2 beats. Here's a quick tip, how to remember the difference between a semi-brief and a minim rest. The answer is, a semi-brief rest carries 4 beats, lasts longer, hence it's heavier. That's why it's hanging off the staff. That looks like this. It's hanging, and it is not sitting. Here's the 3rd type of rest, the crotchet rest. The crotchet rest is quite complicated to draw. Think of it as a skewed letter Z with a small letter C on the bottom. It has a value of 1 beat. There's like a Z and a C. One more time. Let's see how we play these 2 different bars on the piano. 2 black keys. This is a middle C. C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what about Amazing Grace? As you can see, the last beat of Amazing Grace is actually a rest. How does this sound like on the piano? Press G. And I count 3 beats. Pressing the same G, I will count another 2 beats. The final beat, I will lift up my finger because it's supposed to be a rest. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See, this is a crotchet rest. I have to lift up my finger. Here comes the 4th type of rest, the quiver rest. The quiver rest looks like a small number 7 with a little blob on the end. It sits in the middle of the staff and isn't too big. It has a value of half of a beat. Let's see how we draw it. A little blob followed by a 7. Little blob followed by a 7. Like notes, rest can have flags too. Here comes the 5th type of rest, semi-quiver rest. A semi-quiver rest is very similar to the quiver rest but slightly taller and has 2 flags. Here. So if I cover the bottom, the top here will be the quiver rest. If I draw another one below, that will be a semi-quiver rest. It has a value of 1/4 of a beat. Blob, all the way with another blob. Again. The last type of rest is called the dotted rest. The dot adds on half of the rest value. The dot always sits in the 2nd space from the top, or you can call it the 3rd space from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. here's the third space from the bottom, or the second space from the top. Here we have a minim rest. Minim rest carries 2 beats, plus the dot. Dot is half of 2, which is 1 beat. So when you see this, it equals to 3 beats. This is 1 beat with the dot, which is half of it. So here is 1.5 beat. This is half beat with half of half, which is 1/4. Here is a 1/4 beat plus half of the 1/4 is 1/8 beat. A quick tip here. Question: what rest do you use for a whole bar of silence? The answer is use a semi-brief rest. What does that mean? For example, if I want this whole bar to be silent, all I need to do is to put a semi-brief rest. Similarly, if I want this whole bar to be silent, even though there are 3 beats in one bar, I still have to put a semi-brief rest. One bar should have only 2 beats, but because I want a whole bar to be silent, I have to put a semi-brief rest as well. A quick recap: hanging, this is 4 beats. Every 2 beats split into 1/1 each. And then 1 beat split into half, half split into 1/4. Okay, here comes to the end of today's video. I hope you have learned something. Please comment below to share with me your thought. If you like this type of video, remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, click the bell button to be notified whenever a new video is uploaded. Task for the week: practice the song Amazing Grace on the piano. In our next video on Theory Tuesday series, we're gonna learn time signature. Bye!